This is a fun project for some gift giving. I had some scrap 2x4s laying around, so I cut them into 4.5 and 5-inch lengths. I marked a line on the side of them, about 1/4 of an inch in from the back, and then sliced the back of them off. I wanted to make a Christmas tree pattern, so I took a piece of paper and cut it down to size. I made it about 1/4 of an inch shorter all the way around, so I wouldn't get all the way out into the edges. Then I marked out a Christmas tree pattern. After I got these totally finished, I realized I could also just cut out some crosses or hearts or whatever design you wanted in the front of these things. To make room for the blade to cut into the branches, first I had to cut out the inside of the Christmas tree, and I realized later that that looked like another little neat Christmas project we can make. So save the centers when you cut them out, and I'll post a video of those in the links below after I get that one done. It come out pretty neat. After these are cut out, that looks pretty neat. I can put the back on, and the grain matches up pretty nice on the back. You can tell sometimes where the width of the blade was, but it still come out pretty good once I got it all finished. I wanted to put a burn finish on these. That's just kind of the finish that I like lately. Before I did that, I found out the hard way. You want to go ahead and burn the inside of the back and inside of the Christmas tree first before you put it together. Otherwise the flame doesn't get quite down in there the way that you would like. Next I went ahead and glued the back on. Just make sure you have glue all the way around the outside edges, and then I put it into a couple of clamps until the glue set up, and that made a nice secure seal for the next step. A couple of these I didn't really pay enough attention, and when I clamped it, the front part, the Christmas tree cutout part, cracked, so I actually had 3 pieces to glue together. So an extra clamp, a little more time, live and learn. After the glue set up, a little bit of time on the sander, got rid of the glue and made the glue lines disappear. Now that I have a nice smooth edge all the way around, it's time to go ahead and put the burn finish on the rest of the project. Before you put the bottom on, cut a very small notch in the back of it, and then you can hot glue around the wire going into this notch, and that helps seal it up. Then I go ahead and hot glue the bottom on. Again, just make sure you have enough glue around the edges to make sure it's sealed up watertight. A little bit of pressure while the glue sets up, and I'm ready to go. I arranged the lights on the inside. Tried to put a light out on the outside edges of all the branches, and then filled in the middle with the rest of the lights. It takes a little bit of practice figuring out how to get everything down the way you want it, but it's worth the time invested. Instead of deep pour epoxy on projects like this, I like to use just the regular stuff. You can only pour it about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch thick at a time, but that works to your advantage on these type of projects. After you pour the epoxy in, let a little bit of time in the pressure pot while it sets up. Really compresses the bubbles down to where they're a microscopic size. You really can't see them after you get them pressurized. After the epoxy's set up, you can pour another layer in. This is a good time to press the wires down a little more into the inside of the mold. Sometimes they're a little springy and they're going to stick out past the edge. Once you get a layer of epoxy in there, that holds them down, and holds them in place, so the next pour simply covers them up. And it's back into the pressure pot while it sets up. When I use a burnt finish on my projects, I like to use a water-based poly to seal them up with. Your choice, of course, whether you use the satin or the gloss. Gloss is usually my choice. And now they're ready to give away as gifts or just sit on the shelf and you can enjoy them yourself. There's a lot of different lights combinations that you can make with these, but use your imagination and come up with something that you like. I don't think you can tell with the camera, but the ones that look kind of foggy or hazy on these are the ones I did not put in the pressure pot, and it also gives them a different clouded effect, and some people like that better. It's your choice, of course. Try both ways, see what you like. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and hit the bell. That way you'll know when the next project comes up. Thanks for watching. Bye.